Hello, everyone. Hello, dear customers, patrons of Brooklyn Public Library. Join and relax with your family and friends. And I'm Natalia, staffer from Kensington branch, and I'll present you we will talk today about classical and waltz music by Andre Nicholas Rieu. Andre Nicholas Rieu is a Dutch violinist and conductor best known for creating the waltz-playing Johann Strauss Orchestra. He and his orchestra have turned a classical and waltz music into worldwide concert touring act, as successful as some of the biggest global pop and rock music. In his biography, Andre says, for at least last 20 years, my personal life has been so bound up with my work that the story of my personal life would sound pretty much the same as the story of my career, especially as my wife Marjorie has been so closely involved from the start. My life is simply music. Music is what we are always doing, and it never gets boring. The short fact biography of Andre Rieu. 1949, Andre is born under the sign of Libra as his parents' third child. His parents and their two young daughters had moved from Amsterdam to Maastricht shortly before. Andre later got two brothers and another sister. To the present day, Andre has been at home in the beautiful capital of the Dutch province of Limburg, namely Maastricht. 1954. Andre, his brothers and sister grow up exclusively with classical music, symphonies, chamber music, and opera, encouraged by his father, a professional conductor, and they start taking violin lessons at the age of 5. And Andre says, I had great difficulty concentrating at the start. That was because my violin teacher was so beautiful and so blonde that I fell in love with her and stared at her all the time instead of listening to her instruction. 1967, after leaving grammar school, the talented young man for the first continues his musical training on the violin at the conservatory in Liege and later in Maastricht until 73. His teacher is Joe Judah and Herman Krobers. 1974, Andre Rieu moves to the Conservatory of Brussels, where he received the violin tuition from Andre Cartier. 1975, still a student, Andre marries his great love Marjorie. 1977, Andre Rieu concludes his musical training with distinction Premier Prix at the Conservatory in Brussels. 1978, their first son is born. His name is Mark. In the same year, Andre Rieu founds his first orchestra, the Maastricht Salon Orchestra, with which he appears in the Netherlands, the Federal Republic of Germany, and even in the United States. At the same time, until 1989, he is engaged as a violinist in the Limburg Symphony Orchestra. 1981, Andre and Marjorie's second son, Pierre, is born. 1987, Andre recruits his Johann Strauss Orchestra. Andre says, at that time we rehearsed for 6 months before getting started. There were just 12 musicians in the beginning. Today there are 43 and sometimes even 50 on very large stage. In the same year, The new orchestra leader and his wife found Andrew production company. 1988, the New Year's Day is a big moment. Andrew and his Johann Strauss Orchestra gave their first public concert. This is soon followed by brief tours also through the Benelux countries and the Federal Republic of Germany. 1994, the From Holland with Love album is released in the Netherlands, and something happening that no one would have ever thought possible. It triggers the waltz wave and the definite breakthrough for Andrea. One of the pieces of it is Second Waltz, a beautiful melancholy waltz. The piece is originally called Waltz Number 2 from Jazz Suite Number 2 by Dmitri Shostakovich, but it would probably never have been a hit with a title like that. Marjorie, the wife, came up with the name Second Waltz at that time, and that's what it became so famous. From Holland with Life soon headed the top 100 in the Netherlands and stayed in the top 10 for over the year. 1995, at the international football match in Amsterdam Stadium, Andrew fills the halftime interval with a second waltz. The fans in the stands sway in the time with the music and hum along enthusiastically. After initial concert in Hamburg, the music hall, the several television appearances, the From Holland with Love album is also released in Germany, where it instantly heads for the chart and gets into the top 5 with ease. 1996, Andrew is dubbed the Mother King of Waltz by the media, and the next launches the Vienna I Love and the lead in the concert albums on European music market. Again, he can assert himself in the charts in many countries, even against international pop icons like Madonna, for example. Also in 96, Andrew received the World Music Award in Monte Carlo. 1997, Andrew has a little time for his private life and family, as he permanently on the road with the Johann Strauss Orchestra. An extensive concert tour take the charming orchestra leader and his musicians across the half of Europe. Still, he takes the time to record the Christmas I Love. 1998. On the Romantic Moments album, Andrew put the emphasis on dreamy romantic melodies. The tone is set by the time love the theme from Romeo and Juliet. In addition, Andrew this time comes up with classical pieces such as Etude Number 10 by Chopin, Mozart Adagio, and others. 1999, to mark the 100th anniversary of the death of Johann Strauss, June 3rd, Andrew brings out the 100 Years of Strauss album. Finally, Andrew and his orchestra take the lead of the millennium with CD emitted celebration. 2000, Andrew releases La Vie est Belle. Composing is something I ever really been doing all my life, he says. As a child, I tried to invent pretty melodies, first for violin and then also for piano. This is the first time I released a waltz on CD that I composed together with my brother John Philip. La Vie est Belle. That's what Andrew says. 2001, first tour in Japan. Construction of Andrew's own recording studio, allowing him to produce CDs, DVDs, and television specials. The first product made in his own studio, Dreaming, proved a great success. 2002, Andre's son Pierre joined the business with responsibility for all technical production aspects of the concerts and recording. The second product from Andre's studio, Waltertraum, is issued in 7 versions all over the world. 2003, the tour in Japan is extended to include 17 concerts in 11 different Japanese cities, as Sandro is celebrating 25 years on the stage. An anniversary CD is released in the autumn, Romantic Paradise. To include his fans in the celebration, Andre makes Romantic Paradise into double CD, one of the two CD being a gift. The CD is enormously successful. 2004. Early in 2004, the Romantic Paradise Special is nominated for the Rose d'Or. In July, Andre gives a spectacular concert for an audience of 18,000 in the Parkstad Limburg Stadion in Kerkrade. The performance resulted in CD and DVDs, The Flying Dutchman. 2005, after traditional New Year Day concert in Cologne Arena on 1st January and successful winter tour of Germany, Austria and France in the spring of 2005, Flying Dutchman flies with his orchestra to the USA and Canada for an extensive tour of 19 concerts. 2006. The year 2006 began in traditional way with winter tours in Germany and France. Then Andre tours to the 25 cities across the USA and Canada. A new office opened in New York. Andre recorded a fabulous TV special on the square he in front of Schönbrunn Palace. It turned out to be the biggest production within the Andre Rieu concern. Within the week, Andre was waltzing his hometown Maastricht off its feet with a free Midsummer Night concert, ending with a special appearance from the Harlem Gospel Choir. 1 week after, the same choir joined Andre on the stage in their own hometown, New York, where a second special was recorded in the famous Radio City Music Hall. 2007, a report of the 2006 American tour was broadcast on a Dutch television as a series of 6 programs from January. Later, these were issued as a DVD entitled Andre Rieu on his way to New York. In March, Andre Rieu and his orchestra toured through Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Belgium, and France, followed by the spring tour through America and Canada. Toronto, Canada, the largest indoor stadium in the world, in a Venice evening, set a production of Vienna Schönbrunn Palace. This was the kickoff for the big World Stadium Tour, a romantic Vienna night. 2008, the Grand World Stadium Tour, a romantic Vienna night, came to Europe too, with a set featuring life-size replica of the Imperial Schönbrunn Palace, the world's biggest mobile stage. Andre Rieu and his Johann Strauss Orchestra performed together with more than 250 artists in Düsseldorf, Leipzig, Amsterdam, Paris, and Brussels. The concerts were a great success. From mid-November, Rieu toured Australia with more than 500 people, taking the replica Schönbrunn Palace with them. Almost 300,000 people came to his concert down under. The Melbourne concert attended by more than 38,000. 2009, Following tradition, 2009 began with a successful New Year concert in Köln Arena, followed by the tour through Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. In March, a Japanese tour was planned. After Rieu again did a tour of America and Canada for 24 concerts. At the end of 2009, Rieu did Australia, this time with arena tour through all the big cities. Andre turned 60 and became the grandfather no less than 3 times. In America, he was again the best-selling classical artist of the year. In December, Andre performed alongside artists such as Lady Gaga and Malcolm Bublé for Queen Elizabeth of England. 2010, following the performance for the British Queen, this year Andre also performed for the Dutch Queen Beatrix in the case of Valkborg. In April, Andre conquered South Africa. In spite of a difficult departure from Europe due to the volcanic ash, it was a successful tour with a concert in Sun City, Durban, and Cape Town. Also this year, a soap opera, Andre Rieu on the Road to South Africa, was produced. In August, Andre fell by viral infection. For the first time in his 32 years career, he must cancel concert due to illness. In November, he resumes his tour with a concert in Antwerp, followed by his first Mexico tour. 2011. In beginning, Andre and his Johann Strauss Orchestra give concerts in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Denmark. Later, they start to catch up their rescheduled concerts in South Africa, Ireland, the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, and stadium concert in Amsterdam. Andre released the DVD Fiesta Mexicana, a documentary and concert of his 2010 Mexico tour. In April, Andre gets a phone call from Anthony Hopkins, Academy Award-winning actor. He has written music for many years, but composed his latest piece, And the Waltz Goes On, with Rieu specifically in mind to perform it. Rieu was so enthusiastic about the work that he immediately set plans in motion to record it, moving Hopkins' wife to tears during the initial performance of the tune. I've been a great admirer of Andrew Rieu for several years. He is a great musician. It's a dream to come true for me that Andre performed my music with his orchestra. I'm totally knocked out by the result expected, says Anthony Hopkins about his cooperation with Andrew Rieu. 2012, tours in Germany, France, and Denmark were caught up, and in May, Andre gave his first concert in Brazil. Over 180,000 people visit his series of 30 concerts in Sao Paulo. Andre and his orchestra appeared in Domingão de Festival, one of the biggest and longest running shows in Brazil. For the second year in a row, Andre Rieu wins a Classic Brit Award for his album and the Waltz Goes On. He dedicated the award to Sir Anthony Hopkins, who wrote the title track to the album. 2013 began in traditional way with a two concerts in Cologne, Germany. In March, Andre toured throughout the United States and Canada, where Paul Anka attended one of the concerts and sang the biggest hit My Way on a stage with Andre. 5 concerts in Rio de Janeiro followed. On April 30, 2013, Andre gave the coronation concert on Museum Square in Amsterdam in honor of investiture of the new King Willem Alexander and Queen Maxima of Netherlands. Tens of thousands of cheering people attended the unique concert. After that, the show goes on with the tours throughout Mexico, Australia, New Zealand. Andre gave his first ever concert in Turkey in November 2013. The concert in Istanbul, Sinan Erdem Dome, was an enormous success. In December, 14 concerts followed through United Kingdom and Ireland. 2014, beginning of the year, Andre is given a long series of concerts in Germany and France. Also together with violinist Frank from his orchestra, he is composing three new numbers of the soundtrack of the film Tuscan Wedding. The film is having its premiere in the beautiful Tuschinski Theater in Amsterdam. In spring, Andre performs for the first time in Taiwan and China. He is also giving a concert in Singapore. Clearly, the oceans are crazy about Andre. Later, in its turn to Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, and Finland. In Riga, Andre is surprised by the large group of children from Russia. The children are offering him a book with illustration or painting made by listeners to Andre music. That summer, the album Magic of the musical is also appearing, together with the Johann Strauss Orchestra. This year, Andre is celebrating his 65th birthday in his studio in Maastricht. 2015 starts with a series of concerts in Germany and Austria. Then different countries are on the concert agenda: Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, Hungary, Czech Republic, and Poland. In summer, Andre tours through Romania with the Johann Strauss Orchestra. Within 15 hours, a record of 32,000 tickets are sold out. The revenue is donated to the Save the Children Fund. Andre has a warm heart for children. Later in August, he visited Chile and Peru. The South American enjoyed the performances of Andre and his Johann Strauss Orchestra. He visited beautiful Rome in September, where he received the Jubilee Award. While in Rome, the new album Roman Holiday is announced. 2016. The first concert of 2016 takes place in Germany. Together with Frank Stijn, Andre composes a waltz for 1990's birthday of Queen Elizabeth II, the Windsor Waltz. In the spring of 2016, Andre visits the city of Bangkok. He also gives the various concerts in Denmark, Sweden, Hungary, Austria, Germany, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland, and Romania. His biography, written by his wife Marjorie, is published in Maastricht dialect that summer. The mayor of Maastricht received the first copy. July is party time for Andre's native city. Maastricht is transformed into real wall city for 2 weeks. The time the maestra invites 150 dancing couple to waltz on the square. In September is Argentina tour. In November, Andre and Johann Strauss Orchestra go down under Australia and New Zealand. His new CD, Fallen in Love, comes out. 2017, Andre celebrates a very special anniversary. Exactly 30 years ago, in 1987, he founded his Johann Strauss Orchestra. And of course, he starts the new year in a very special way, with festive New Year concert in Amsterdam and Brussels, which will become a tradition. In the spring of 2017, Andre performs in many of his beloved cities and countries such as Prague, Salzburg, Vienna, Zagreb, and Budapest, as well as concerts in Poland and Denmark. After their annual summer break, Andrew and the orchestra returned to Chile and to concert to Mexico. Deeply touched by the earthquake, Andrew decides to perform in Guadalajara and Monterrey and to postpone his Mexico City concert to March 2018. October and November marked a long-awaited return to United States. The first leg on his U.S. tour takes Andre to the East Coast. His new album, Shall We Dance, is released in the United States. 2018 turns to be out the most successful year in Andrew's career. 93 concerts in 21 countries on the 5 continents for 7,100 people. Andre and his orchestra visit Europe, Asia, North America, South America, and Australia. Anders starts the new year with celebration in Amsterdam, followed by his traditional tours throughout Germany. In Berlin, he is awarded the Crown Violin for having received 500 platinum awards for the sold CDs and DVDs. In March, Andre returns to Mexico City for 6 concerts. Andre and the orchestra are deeply touched and happy being in Mexico again after they had to postpone the concert due to terrible earthquake. Same year, Andrew visited Israel for the first time in his life and plays 5 shows. Of course, Andrew and the orchestra go to Jerusalem to visit the holy places. The camera team follows Andrew and the orchestra on his trip to Israel so that his fans will be able to see this beautiful tour in a special series, Welcome to My World. Then Andre and the orchestra visit 4 continents in 4 months, starting with the USA, Canada, performing in New York, Washington, Chicago, Toronto, and many more cities. Then Andre is on the road again to Buenos Aires in October, followed by Australia in November for his Christmas with Andre tour. Andre records a beautiful TV New York concert and Sydney Town Hall. The concert showed in cinemas in January 19 with enormous success. It released on DVD in 2019. Andre says, "My dream is to make the whole of classical music accessible for everyone. To achieve that, I have my own recording studio built, and we are working hard to make a new recording of the classical repertoire. I hope I may be given many more years to make people happy with my music." Thank you for your attention and time you spent watching and listening this incredible biography part. Now, as I offer an instruction on the next 3 following pages, you can use the print screen features on your computers to copy links to beautiful music and concerts. Enjoy. Thank you very much for listening. This was Natalia, stopper from Kensington branch. Enjoy the waltz and classical music of Andrew Rieu.